To the second segment of the show for today. We're talking to Alana McLaughlin, and she's giving us some information about the protest movement in America, beginning with the institution of slavery. And she's given us quite a bit of information in reference to President Abraham Lincoln and his wife, Mary Todd, in reference to their attitude about the institution of slavery. And Alana, I think that what you've given us so far would simply allow us to make a statement in reference to these two individuals, Abraham Lincoln and his wife, representing, in a real sense, the attitude that most white Southerners had in reference to slavery. Not all of them supported slavery, as you indicated in reference to Abraham Lincoln, but some of them did, as you indicated, in reference to Abraham Lincoln's wife. That within the same family, the same kind of attitude that happened in his family probably happened all over. Now let's, after the Emancipation Proclamation, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, talk about that. What did that really mean to Africans during that period?
Well, the Emancipation Proclamation basically said that all slaves throughout the United States were free. So no more shipping them from Africa, Haiti, Uganda, Trinidad, Tobago. No more slavery, basically. So he was basically saying that slavery is now officially illegal. You need to let them free. Let them go, because they're free. So basically, after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, that's when really all of Abraham Lincoln's death threats started coming in, because a lot of people back then thought slavery was right. They owned slaves, and they didn't really care about them. So there was this. So when Abraham Lincoln went to see one of his favorite plays, during his favorite moment, he was shot in the head, and the man who shot him
John Wilkes Booth.
John Wilkes Booth. He started to run. He started to run, and he broke his leg trying to get away, but he was soon captured and killed. So that basically shows how much somebody wanted to kill him for doing the right thing, like Martin Luther King, which we'll soon get into. He was killed standing up for what he believed in.
Very good. And of course, the 13th Amendment, Africans were free, and they were made free, and they were made citizens, and they were given the right to vote. We call these what, the 13th, the 14th,
and the 15th
amendments to the Constitution.
The right to vote, citizenship, and so basically, yeah. Yeah,
so these are the three Civil War amendments that they often call. Is that right?
Yeah.
But now, did everybody approve or appreciate these amendments to the Constitution? That is, did everybody appreciate Africans being given their freedom, citizens?
Not everybody exactly liked. Not everybody exactly liked slaves being free. So that's when we go into segregation. That's when it was blacks only and whites only. So your daughter. Say you are African American, your daughter had to go to a blacks only. She couldn't go to a certain restaurant. She couldn't go stand in line to see the movies. She had to sit in the top row. So it's basically things like that. And like Emmett Till, he was killed because he supposedly flirted with a white lady, a Caucasian lady, and that's his mother was devastated because of that. So basically, a few years after that, the NAACP was for, and they started supporting his mother and his father and his family because they were devastated about it. And then we go into the Ku Klux Klan. They believe that basically what Adolf Hitler believed, that no African American should live. If you're not white, blonde hair, blue eyes, then you should not exist. That's basically what all of them believed, and terrorist groups like that. Like nowadays, they're Al Qaeda, which are against the government and trying to kill everybody, like in 9/11, September 11, 2001. So it's basically saying that there are so many hate groups, but not as many love groups.
And of course, one of the references in reference to these hate groups was this whole idea of Africans trying to
segregation, slavery, the Emancipation Proclamation, I Have a Dream speech. All of this just caused so many mixed emotions for so many Caucasian and African American people that they started black protests.
Okay.
Boycotts.
Okay.
Black protests.
Okay, and some of the first protest movements, I think you've indicated, started by the so-called civil rights movement led by Dr. Martin Luther King. But now, Dr. Martin Luther King was not only the important leader, as you indicated, but there was also another individual in that movement called Malcolm X. Now,
Malcolm Little, born Malcolm Little. He, I guess in his life, he experienced many little run-ins with the Ku Klux Klan. He had a cross burned into his yard. He believed that his father was severed in half when he got into a car accident and he died. And he later wrote in one of his books that he thought it was about a Ku Klux Klan member. So when his mother found out about it, she was so devastated. She was so mentally emplaced that she had to check into a mental hospital. And Malcolm Little at the time, moved to Harlem and started working at a little cafe, a whites only cafe, because if you were black and you worked, that's the only way you could get in. It is, yeah.
And so that was some of his early grounding in reference to the race situation in Harlem. He was in Harlem and he played a very, very important. There was something else about Malcolm X that I think you said Elijah Muhammad had some kind of influence. What about that influence that he had over Malcolm?
Well, when Malcolm was very poor when he started going to Harlem, so he started stealing small things like food, gum, little lighters. Then he started stealing bigger things. Then he stole one major thing, and he got sentenced to 10 years in jail. That's when he met Elijah Muhammad, who converted him into being a black Muslim. But when Malcolm X started making statements about how all white people were demons, that's when Elijah Muhammad suspended him from the Black Muslims group, and Malcolm X made his own group, Black Muslims Incorporated. So that's basically how all that turned out. Because at first Malcolm X he was full Christian, then he turned into being a black Muslim because Elijah Muhammad converted him to their religion.
And so these were, now Malcolm X also, in a real sense, I think we're making ready for the second commercial break. And when we come back, we want you to tell us about Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King, because I think that during their period, and there's another real important organization that I think that you've also mentioned, has to do with the Black Panthers. We want to talk about those three protest organizations.
NAACP
and NAACP during the last part. And then we'll be able to sort of wrap it up in reference to this. But I think that this is the kind of information that we're looking for, dealing with these protest movements and these protest groups, all in the interest of trying to make things better for the Africans. And we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.